Right. Anyway, guys, let's rock and roll. And good evening, everyone, and welcome to our monthly partners meeting. As you know, we land this meeting on the first Wednesday of every single month. And this is an opportunity that we have to get together as a global team. As you can see, there's people from different parts of the globe. And it's always good to get together. Okay, we can share the celebrations, we can share the achievements. If people want, they can always share new stories that they might have on themselves or even on the team. But it's always a good moment to get together. And also, we always try to have a special guests on these meetings. And today we're going to have our beautiful Bibi Frederick. I will go and introduce to Bibi in a second. But before we introduce Bibi, we just would like to do some recognitions and just some updates on what's coming in October. So we're going to start with recognitions, and we would like to actually welcome all the new partners that join our team in September. And actually, it's a good list. So we're going to welcome Mattia, that is actually here. So Mattia, welcome to the team. It's great to have you here. And I think as you go into this journey, you're going to love it. Okay. It's really a lifetime journey. It's not so much of a job. It's not so much just as a business. It's a lifestyle. And that's, I think, what you're going to start getting the feeling as you progress. Also, welcome to Tomasz. Welcome to Simon. Welcome to the plug Paul Auziuk. I'm sorry if I can't translate this the right way. Welcome to Przemysław.
Przemysław. Przemysław.
Okay, thank you, Renata, for that. And then we also have Kacper Gomolka.
Yeah, Kacper Gomulka.
Cool, thank you. Renata, who's next? Natalia Mielewski.
Yeah, Natalia Mielewczyk.
Then we have Sohan Vincent. Then we have Agnieszka. Come on, Renata, help me here.
Czerwczak.
Okay, perfect. And then we have Anna Coco. We have Shitrazen Ramsur. Gosh. and then we have Alicia Almond. Okay, I wish I could actually tell where these people are, and but I actually don't know where everyone is. But anyway, welcome to all of those. I'm sure we're going to embrace them. We're going to help them. We're going to support them, and then show them how to really build a global business. And then going into recognitions, we would like to congratulate the following people: Agnieszka, Kapper, the Blau, Kapker again, and Anna. So Agnieszka with Q team and Kapker as well with Q team, the Blau with X team, and then Kapper achieved silver as well, and Anna silver as well. So congratulations to all of them for their achievements during September. Really, really well done. Okay. So I'm going to finish here. Now, I just want to cover one more thing, which is, and I'm actually not going to spend much time on this because I think each one of you can go to your back office and look at October campaign. This is just a little bit of an overview, and I'm not going to go through all of them, but I think the main one that is worth mentioning is the fact that October is your ECBX qualification month for November. Just like last year, November is going to be a gigantic month. Okay, so please do your qualification. Remember, you only need 6 points to qualify. Okay, 6 points to qualify. So please go to your back office, go into your campaign, and then you can see each one of them. Fast start extended until March 31st. So that's amazing. So you still have the chance to get those 2,500 euros on your fast start. But again, all the other ones, please go into your back office and get familiarized, and then cascade that onto your team so they are aware of every single one of them. But I think the most important one, of course, is the qualification for ECBX and we want to have as many of our partners to be connected to ECBX for November. All right, perfect. So also to mention that if you're going to Oslo, okay, if you have your own your ticket to go to Oslo, I'm sure that you also received an email regarding the products that they gonna be giving to us. Well, not giving it, we have to purchase it. So I'm sure that if you go to your back office and the orders, you will see an invoice ready for payment in order for you to get your products. So if you want to have the product, and I hope you really want to have your hands on the product, which we don't know what it is, we kind of guess what it might be, but let's pretend that we don't know. So it's actually a surprise. So yeah, go into your back office, purchase your product, and then we collect it on the day. Okay. And also for those people that you haven't purchased your ticket to go to Oslo, at least the best that we can do is to get your online ticket. Okay, it's not the same as being in a room with 4,600 people, but I think it's the second best thing. There's no third best thing. That would be not going, not being present online, and you don't get to see what actually going on at this event. But if you go online, I think you have a good chance to have a little bit of an idea of what the event can really be about. Okay, so please get your online tickets if you're not going to be in person in Oslo. Right, I think I've done all the homework and everything that is not as exciting as having Bibi on our call. And when I joined the business, the first person that I've met, of course, was Jimmy, because he was the one who introduced the business. And then the second person was Carla. Then we met Pete Sorensen. Then we met Pete Anderson. And then we met Bibi. Okay. And I think myself and Patricia, I talk on behalf of Patricia, but I think we fall in love with Bibi because of her kindness, because her calm approach, because she's really true to her words, because she represents the values of Zinzino. And I can't wait to meet you in person, Bibi, because we only met through a screen. We actually never
That's
been
right,
together.
yes.
But the impression that we have, Bibi, is that it's going to be exactly the same, if not better. Okay, because you really represent what Zinzino is about. And the impression and the feeling that I have about Zinzino is that Zinzino attracts light-minded people, attracts people that they want to be and do good to other people. They want to spread good to other people. And those people that don't resonate with that, they end up leaving, okay? Because it's not the frequency that they really want to be around. So they end up quitting or they just disappear. And the feeling that I get every time I'm around you, it's tranquility, it's calmness, it's honesty, and we just love to connect with you every time. And you're always ready to help us, which is incredible. So, Bibi, thank you so much for being with us tonight. We really appreciate. We can't wait to hear from you. Don't forget that Bibi is a top 200. Okay, so if you want to know what it's like to make subscriptions, that's about her. But I know she also recruits a lot of partners. So it's not just about customers, but she also likes to help a lot. So anyway, Bibi, I'll let you share the story, but thank you so much for being here tonight, and the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Ricardo, and thank you for that amazing introduction. I appreciate that. And I feel so honored to be here tonight with you guys. I adore Ricardo and Patricia, and I'm so excited to meet you in person too. And Jimmy, of course, I know, and Donna and Allison and the rest of you. It's so good to meet you. And I just can't say enough about Ricardo and Patricia. They are such wonderful people, and they really care about you guys on the team, and they are fantastic leaders. And I am always inspired by them and impressed with their leadership. So it's so good to have them in our team, and I'm so grateful for all of you. And Patricia and Ricardo, they have good hearts. Their intention is to help you and to have an impact on the world as a team. So I'm very, very excited to be in your guys' team as well. And I want to start out by sharing a little story. So about maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I was on a dream vacation. And I should tell my story first a little bit. I'm Bibi Frederick. I'm from Denmark and I live here in Chicago. Been here for 31 years, married to an American, have 3 kids, and they are 18 and up. So we just became empty nesters. And I have a background in nursing. And when the kids were little, I was looking for something to help us financially, and was very frustrated because I couldn't find anything that worked with my schedule, that paid more than $10 an hour, and that was somewhat interesting. So for me, when I found Zinzino, I was so excited because it was perfect for me because it's flexible hours, and I get to help people with their health. And there's nothing more gratifying and meaningful to me than when people come back and say, hey, this doesn't hurt anymore, or this goes much better. That to me is like being paid twice. And I absolutely love that. And I've had great results with the products too. So 9 years ago, I started having really bad knee pain, and was headed toward knee surgery. Instead, I added the multivitamins, the Extend. And after a month, I was better. After 2 months, I didn't have any more pain. So that is one of the things I saw. And of course, all the stories that we hear, they inspire me as well. When you hear the stories, right? But let me just share another story. So about 6 or 7 years ago, I was on a dream vacation with my husband and my 2 youngest kids. And we were in Utah. I don't know if has any of you been to the US by chance? Ricardo? Yes, yes. So I love the national parks here. I mean, for me, that's the best. And so we were in Utah with all the red rocks, and it's just so breathtaking, right? And loving it and hiking and having a great time. And then all of a sudden, my kids and my husband decided they wanted to go canyoneering. So that's when you put on a rope and you basically climb into canyons. And I had never, ever done anything like that before. And I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't want to stop them, but I also didn't want to miss out. So I decided, well, I'm just going to do it then. And I faced my fears. And so we got there, and the 2 little kids, they climbed down like 2 little ants. No problem whatsoever. And then I got connected with everything. And as I'm about to go down, in my head, in a split second, I panicked. And I was like, what am I doing? I can't do this. I'm going to die if I do this. And I was just like, so terrified, really terrified. And then I decided we had a professional guide with us who had done this for many years. And I looked at him and I said, all I said to him was, I looked him straight in the eyes. I'm like, am I going to be okay? And he said, yes, I got you all day long. You're going to be fine. And then I just put my faith in him and his expertise, his experience, and the ropes that were holding me. And I just went with it then. And then he was guiding me. And he's like, yeah, you lean back and you let go a little bit of the rope. Then you take a step back. Then you let go of the rope a little more and you take another step back. And as I did that, I overcame this intense fear that I thought this was going to kill me, right? And as with every step I took, I became more excited. And it was just so empowering to step into the thing that you were most afraid of and just do it. And and I was like, look at me, I'm amazing. And I was just so ecstatic that I was able to do this, right? And let me just, can I share? I have a short video. I can share the screen. I think you might get a kick out of this.
Yeah, go for it.
Good right here. And just kind of lean into it and just start letting the rope slide through your hands. How's it going? Sit back in. There you go. Yep, just like that. So it's just that easy.
And just let the rope slide through your hands. You don't have to do hand over hand.
You're gonna be okay.
okay.
I got you good on the safety. Got you right here, all day long. Right here.
I'm just just
so you've got body position. Yep, there you go.
Look at me.
You're doing great. Sit back into it. But a little lower.
Okay.
There you go. So that's kind of, you've already done, so I like what you did, that brace. You've already done the hard part. And it's actually just going to get easier and easier from here on out.
wow.
Yep.
So yeah. That was me facing my fears, and I'm sure you've all done things, that seemed terrifying to you. And then when you do it, it's never as bad as you imagined it, right? Especially if you have a guide like that who's professional. He knows what he's doing, and I just have to follow his instructions, right? And I feel like Cinzino is so much like that I mean, I can't emphasize enough the leaders that you have in your team. They are amazing people, and they know what they're doing. And if they don't know some things, they will find out for you. But they are such good leaders, and also our founders, Arian and Hilda, and the whole team. I feel like we're in the best of hands with them, because they do things very well. Everything they do is just very well done. And so even though some of us, when we started, we're new, we can put our lives in their hands, so to speak, and follow their guidance and know that we're going to do fine. We're going to do well, and and so I love direct sales because we do so much self-development, self-improvement, and we're becoming better people in general. So it's not just for the business, but it's in our relationships, in life. We're improving ourselves. And I love that part about what we're doing. And one of the things I like is that we become better communicators. And we're able to express what we do without being salesy, and doing it in a way that we show that we care for other people. And that's, of course, very important. And we learn how to explain the products and the business in the best ways. And like he was saying in the movie, it gets easier and easier the more you do it. And doing it as a team. I love that part, that we can always pull on other people to help us. In the beginning, we do everything with the new partners, right? And I love that part, that we're there for each other. And we help each other grow. And one of the ways that I know we all improve is reading and listening to things. And one of the books that's been most instrumental for me is Psycho-Cybernetics. Have any of you heard about it? Yeah, I mean, I heard it through Arian. He did one of his talks, and he was talking about how that helped him improve himself and change his self-image, which is what it's about. And when I heard Arian talk like that, I'm like, wow, Arian struggle with those things, with self-image, so if he can get as far as he's come, there's hope for me too. So that book and that talk really helped me to start believing in myself. So the book is about changing the way you think about yourself. And let's see, what does it say? So it's kind of like reprogramming your brain to think differently about yourself. And when you do that, you feel differently about yourself, and you you actually change. And it's an extremely powerful book. I recommend all of you to read it if you haven't read it. It's one book that I like to listen to as well, and I can listen to it over and over. Because of course, if we change the way we look at ourselves and what we believe that we are capable of, we're going to believe it, and we're going to actually act on it then. And we're going to come across differently if we believe that God created us with certain abilities and that we can do. If we believe that, we're going to be more bold, and we're going to be more clear in how we communicate. And that's going to build trust in people when we sound credible, and we sound like we're someone who knows this and who's communicating that. And that's going to make us more successful, right? Another book that I'm reading right now is 10x is easier than 2x. Has any of you heard of that by chance? No, it's a really interesting book as well. And he starts talking about Michelangelo, the famous sculptor, how he came from nothing in that world to becoming one of the most famous sculptors in the world and building things for the Pope. But he started from somewhere, right? And he honed in on his skills and improved it, and ended up making what he calls 10x jumps, where things are 10 times better than what they used to be. And with those jumps, then he became more famous. So the next jump was even bigger, where he got bigger and bigger jobs that he had to do. And then, of course, we all know where he is today. And what the book talks about is, how do we as people make those 10x jumps as well? How do we become 10 times better? And he's in the book, he's talking about how we all have done those. We've all done 10x jumps. From when we were born to today, we've done 10x jumps. When we started speaking, that was definitely a 10x jump, right? When we started walking, when we got to a point maybe where you invited someone out for a date and you ended up at one day getting married, that's a 10x jump. Having kids, becoming a parent, that's a 10x jump, right? And then in the business, I'm sure you have all had those 10x jumps as well, where today you're doing things. A couple of years ago, you were like, no way I would ever do that, or I would ever accomplish that. But you have. And I think it's important that you look at your life and your career, and look back and look at, how have I grown? What are the things that I see a difference? Because I'm sure you're different today than you were when you started. And if you do that, then you're going to have more belief. Oh, I can do that again. I can improve myself that much more again. And I can break through the things that are scary to me. I can go through that chicken list and talk to them. Maybe I bring on another partner to help me. But be aware of those things and try to face it and do it, because when you do, it can create these 10x jumps, and it's very exciting. I mean, for myself, I know something like this, where I'm speaking in front of a group, I would have never, ever thought that, when I started, though, I knew that that's where I was heading. I mean, because, you see people on stage and whatever, and I was like, oh my gosh, really? And then I would say to myself, Bibi, that's too bad. You don't know how to do it. You're not comfortable. Too bad. You're just going to have to learn. And it's not as bad as I thought, And I mean, so facing those fears and doing it and growing, I think is exciting. And I encourage you all to keep reading, keep listening, and and growing your mindset that way. And I think one of the most powerful things that we can do is jump into action, you know. So when we stand in front of that canyon and we're like terrified, what do we do? Or you're not sure, or you're not sure where you're going, what direction you should take. I think taking action is sometimes what encourages me the most, where when I feel like I'm stuck and you're like, oh, is it going to work? And, you know, we all reach those times where it's hard, right? And I think the best thing we can do is then to go into action. Call the next person. Who's the next person I need to help? Who's the next person that I haven't touched base with in a while, and call them up and set up a meeting. And for me, that's the most encouraging. Then when you get a positive reaction, that to me then gives me that emotion or inspiration to keep going, right? And so I love doing that. And just reminding myself the mission that we're on. You know, we have an incredible business setup, you know, where basically everybody around us need this, and we can prove it, you know. That's incredible. And I think most people, when they hear that, they're like, oh, let me tell me a little more, right? Or it piques their interest. And it's very impressive that we have a business like this. Yes. So goal setting, I think, can be a little intimidating, but I think it's also very important. But when you do it, keep in mind where you are today compared to where you were, and how you've grown, and be encouraged, and know we do it as a team, and we can all help you get there. And yeah, just go for it. But I'm so grateful for all of you, and it's so good to meet you all here. So yeah, I hope that was somewhat helpful for you guys.
Thank you, Bibi, and I'm sure that you know, I hope people have some questions for you, but I would like to kick off because again, ever so humble. But you didn't share with us your great achievements. You know, you actually did top 200, and of course, people are always willing to learn and to how did you approach? How did you manage to go to 200? And it's not only that, it's the fact that you need to maintain those people to get to 200. So retention had to be something that it's also very important. That means that customer care, being a great communicator, make sure that you transmit the information that people understand that this is a great product, but there's a reason that they will stay with you for a long time. So can you just go through a little bit about, did you just talk to everyone? Did you just go and say, all right, we'd love to talk to you about something rather special? Did you go through any fears, or for you it's just, that's fine, I'm just going to talk to a friend and share about something that is quite special? How was it for you to get to 200?
Yeah. So honestly, I was at a point where I couldn't get partners. And I was just like, okay, forget it. I'm just going to focus on customers then. And so my focus was really on customers. And I think what we focus on, that's where we will be successful. You know, I think there's something about it. I mean, of course, you do it physically, you talk to more people. And it's the whole thing, you know, where's their need? You know, when you have a conversation and we talk about, you get to know people, or you catch up with someone, you know, usually talk about work, family, hobbies, kids, whatever. And in that conversation, usually a need comes up. And then, you know, like Art has taught us, you know, do you want to do something about that? And they say yes. Then if I had something that could help, do you want to hear about it? And if they say yes, then you explain the balance concept, you know, briefly, you know, with the hands is what I usually do. And just go from there and have a conversation. And, you know, I think especially art has taught us so well how to be respectful and not be salesy, but show that we're trying to help them.
Yeah, thank you, Bibi. Also, I'd like to ask you another question, which is because, you know, you've been with Zinzino way more than majority of us. So how has it been, this journey from when you started to where we are now? And how do you see what's coming? So all this journey, where are you? Because I know there's people here that probably are here on the call for the first time. This is the first time they're actually outside, either talking to me or Patricia or maybe Jimmy. They've never heard about anything else about Zinzino, but it's always good to hear from someone that has been from longer periods. So if you could just tell us a little bit about the journey and above all, where we're going. I think that's the most exciting, I think.
Yeah. So, I mean, when I first heard about Zinzino, we had just gotten into the balance oil. We just bought that. And it was funny. So I was at the events, Jimmy, you were there too, when they announced it, right? And everybody were experts in coffee. That's all they had been doing. and they know everything about the machines, so what coffee was from, the healthy oils, you know, name it, right? And I love the coffee, don't get me wrong, but I wasn't as invested in that part, right? So when they started talking about the balance concept, and it was Dr. Paul, who was so funny, you know. He came up on stage, they're clapping, he's like, you know what, you guys are all on fire, you know, and start talking about the products, right? And I was so excited, and I felt like the people I was with, they were like, hmm? You know? Do you remember that, Jimmy? It was very funny. It was a big transition, right? I remember it. But I always, from the get-go, I always believed that this was going to be huge because they were talking about regulating inflammation, right? So just from that point of view, I was very excited about that. And of course, we've grown tremendously since then. So back then we were only in Scandinavia. And I mean, look at us now, right? We've grown so much. And the fact that we're debt free, we just bought our 9th company, but I love it how they still keep the same standard for the quality of products. You know, we buy all these companies, but we don't always keep all the products. We only pick the very best. And I love it that we can trust the brand Zinzino in that they only go for the very best. And that we're still making new tests and going that route, you know, I think is the future.
Yeah, thank you, Bibi. From my part, just one more thing, and I think you created on your presentation and on your talk, you created a foundation that we can actually, any one of us, we can actually be whatever we want to be. And I would just like to use the words that Marco Passanante said the other day, where he actually mentioned that sometimes you could be in a rank, you could be, I don't know, executive or platinum, and we think that we are miles and miles and miles away from the position that Marco Passanante has as president. And we think we are so far and we have to do so much. And he said, actually, the distance, it's not that far. It's just the mind that plays that distance, and then it kind of distances away from actually achieving those positions. And I think you created the foundation today just by giving some examples of some good readings for people to embrace and go through that journey of self-development. Because, like you said, the more we grow internally, the more we actually develop the business. And we always listen to Jimmy saying, right, read this, read that. Patricia, the same thing, read this, read that. And but it's exactly that. And for a reason, every single top leader is always talking about self-development. He's always talking about getting more connected, what great people have achieved and how they've done and how they change themselves in order to become who they are today. And I think that's the purpose of living. It's exactly that. It's to become a better version of ourselves. It doesn't matter what we do. But thank you for
the balance between that and also, of course, talking to people. So you want to talk to people. You don't want to wait until you know it all, right? But you do it at the same time. So, yeah.
So I don't know if there's anyone that would like to ask any question to Bibi. I think it would always be amazing to listen to you guys. So Patricia, I believe you have so
one question.
Go for it.
Yeah. First, I want to share that that's my favorite book as well. I
Oh,
carry
yeah.
it. I think the team, some of them are kind of tired of listening to me saying that this one is one of the go-to. So I love it as well. So when you mentioned it, I said, right, yeah, she's one of mine. Like, I didn't know about Tori, by the way, but yeah, I know that. So, but for me is in your journey.
And I just want to say about the book, when I first started reading it, it was the weirdest book ever. And then once you get into it, you're like, oh my gosh, this is so fascinating.
Wow,
Yes,
I had
yes,
this book. I will already read it right away.
So, Bibi, in your journey so far, what was your biggest lesson that that helped you then grow more and more and more?
I think there's been many points where I think when I've grown the most is when I've taken a decision, like for instance with the customers, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do customers, and I did that, or later when I've been like, lately I've been more focused on more partners, and so deciding to grow, and I think getting Carla on with meetings with me has been super helpful too. Definitely has in that. So I think I've always had an easy time believing in the company and the products. For me, it's always harder. Can I do it? And that's where, we have to work on ourselves and read books that tells us how and navigate, the negativity and believing that we can do it. And I think talking to other partners about the struggles, because we all struggle with those things, right? At some point, it's very, very important. And it really bonds us as a team as well. When we open up and share, well, this is really hard, or I don't know about this, or, Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone else would like to ask a question to Bibi?
A little camera shy.
Come on, Alison. Come on.
Hi, everybody. Congratulations, Bibi, on Top Team 200. That's amazing. My question is, do you have some type of system in place, or how do you manage your follow-up with such a large number? Because I have goals that I want to build towards, and I think having a system in place, whether it's follow-ups or that kind of thing, I'm just wondering how you manage such a large number.
Yeah, that's an area I need to get better at too. I've started using numbers, the app numbers, and making lists of the people that I talk to about the business, and customers. But that's something I'm working on getting better at. So calling people up and ask them, how's it going? And I mean, I always, when they start, I explain the test and then the second test. So that's kind of a given that, we connect on that. But I want to get better at following up with more. So because I think that is very important. Yeah. So some people, I don't know if you heard Peter Sorensen, he's got a system where he has a folder with all the names. And then the next time he has to talk to them, he puts them in under the month. So it's divided into 12 months. It's another way that some people really like to do it.
Mm.
When I set up a second meeting, I'll put it in my calendar on my phone so I know when that is. Yeah. Have you guys found other systems that work for you?
We use that one that you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it took a while to find the best system, but I think now the system that I'm utilizing, I just break down a folder in 12 months, and I'm having conversations in October, and people say, Rick, I can't do it this month. Let's go and talk in a couple of months' time. So I move the name to the month that they refer, and then I'm going to forget about that person for the next 2 months. And then when the month comes, oh, Johnny's here. Let's talk to him again.
Yeah.
I go back to the messages that we exchanged. I get the memory. Okay, I remember what was going on, and then I'll go into a conversation as if it was yesterday. So, but that system really, really works. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Again,
I also like to use notes on my phone and take notes whenever I have a meeting with somebody. Because otherwise there's no way you can remember everything, right? So I think that's the way that I do it. I take notes on my phone.
Yeah, and that's also what I do.
That's what you do too?
Yeah, because I cannot spell, so I just talk to it and it write the name.
Oh, nice.
Because it's very hard for me when I cannot spell. So that's what I'm doing with all my contacts, and especially now when I have lots of meetings, I put them in there, set their names, and I'll just talk with them now. We have our first meeting, and I write down, this is a guy from India, whatever. He liked this and this and this, and I will wait for him to see the videos, and we should follow up in next week. And if I don't have scheduled a meeting because you don't want, that is where I asked him, okay, I will contact you next week. And then I have it on my notes, and I also put a reminder on my phone. So the morning when I'm waking up, I have it there.
Yeah.
That's how I do it.
Yeah.
There's, if you want, Alison, in terms of existing customers, I can then show you what I do. I use the back office because it has their win back list, for instance, so you can see the track alongside then with a spreadsheet we have that it tracks when is their first test, their second test, so you kind of highlights to us to do a follow-up with them, and then you can introduce another follow-up there after 4 months, for instance, so you're always on check. So that gives you alerts alongside then what's happening in your back office, because it's quite interesting how you can use the back office to put you on top of if someone is got an issue with the cards, so it's dropping a subscription and so on. So you can be always on top of and see, okay, where am I exactly? What's happening with this customer? Do I need to touch base with that? Yeah, so if you want, I can then show you that page.
I would love to see how you do that.
Sorry, Bibi?
I would love to see how you do that.
Yeah. We can do a workshop on that.
Yes, we should.
So Bibi, going back to the list and the process of dividing, one thing, and I'm sure that you all do that, but if you decide to start doing it now, one thing that I advise, if you are contacting people from different parts of the world, make sure you leave a column for the country that you are talking to, and then another column where you write the time difference.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you keep checking on the phone, -5 hours, -8 hours, +5, and it's like, oh, it's a nightmare. So I find it really useful now having the hours in front of the name. It's just so easier.
I
so
love
you just
that.
do the maths, right?
Uh-huh.
So, Bibi, I have one more question for you because, and again, well, Bibi's here, so we need to take the most out of it.
Sure.
So, and again, we all know that the business is partners, customers, partners, but one thing we can't forget, 85% of the revenue comes out of customers. We can't forget that. You are top 200. The question is, and again, you make a lot of customers, but you lose customers along the way. And something that I've always learned, maybe because of working in hospitality, that you always treat your customers the best way possible so they become repeated customers. And those are the best customers that you can have because you have guaranteed sales over and over and over again. So for me to think that, okay, Bibi stopped to 100, she must have a good retention because if you don't really pass information correctly, just like I spoke in the beginning, if you don't pass the communication correctly about the concept, about the payments, about what involves buying the kit and then the subscriptions and all of that, people very easily fall into the trap of, I'm just going to quit this. This is not for me. I didn't understand. I'm not going to do it anymore. But if things are done correctly, you have a much better chance of having customers that will stay with you for the rest of their lives. And so that makes me think that you do things kind of an organized way, and you must have a high retention for you to go top 200 because it's not an easy task, I have to say. You must be quite hard. But if you do that, actually, you actually have a much better chance. So, how do you do your process? Do you try to be really thorough with your communication? Do you follow up with them after 3, 4, 5 months and then you check them up after? Do you do the tests with them? How is it for you?
So I'm right now, I don't have 200 yet at this point. So it's dwindled down a lot. And I think it's because I haven't been on top of it as much as I should. And so that's something I want to get better at is contacting. Sometimes it's hard though, if you can't get through, but yeah, I do try to connect with them. Definitely on the test, and that's, I think, very important that if they understand that. So unfortunately, I haven't stayed up at the 200, but still working on it, getting back up there. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Bibi.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
No?
Cool. Right. Okay. So no more questions. So that's absolutely fine. Thank you so much for your time. Okay, really appreciate. So we will, as you know, we're gonna next meet in Oslo for those that are going. Bibi, you're not going, are you?
No.
Bibi? No. Oh, come on, Bibi.
Oh, you got a meeting after
We gotta
this?
meet at some point, okay? You gotta meet at some point, okay? But again, Bibi, so thank you so much for being here tonight, okay? It's the first time that we
My
actually have
pleasure.
you as a guest. I hope we
Yeah,
can
so good to
repeat, okay? I hope we can
Yeah.
repeat, but we love having you around. So inspiring, like always. And for everyone else, guys, this is the last time that we're going to meet before Oslo, unless we have one-to-one meeting, which would be amazing. But if not, have a safe journey, okay? Can't wait to see you all in Oslo and have a great time. And then we will meet very soon. All right. Thanks, guys. See you soon. Have a great evening.
Bye.
You too.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, thank you.
Bye-bye.